Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation, Actionstep Payments. My name is Katie.eagles, and I look after product marketing at Actionstep. Joining us today is Jeremy.white, our payments director, and Duncan McDougall, our payments product manager. Last year, we uncovered the need to provide a best-in-class integrated solution within your Actionstep system. Since then, we've been working hard to develop and implement Actionstep Payments. In today's session, we're going to cover our new payments feature, explain how it works, its current functionality, and our future development roadmap. Now I'd like to hand over to Jeremy, who will explain our payment strategy, our current payment features, and how Actionstep Payments can help save you time and get you paid faster.
All right, thank you, Katie. Just a quick housekeeping note before we get going here. I've realized that many of you may have some questions as we're moving through the presentation, and we're going to make sure that we get those questions answered for you. But what we would ask of you to do is just to go ahead and submit those questions into us, so we make sure that they don't get missed. And this will help ensure that we're able to get through the entire presentation, and also leaves us with plenty of time to answer all of your questions at the end. Okay. All right, great. Let's go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Jeremy White. I'm our Director of Payments here at Actionstep. And on behalf of all Actionsteppers, I want to welcome and thank all of you for joining us today. We are beyond excited to be able to introduce this new product. And by the end of the presentation, we truly believe you're going to feel the same way too. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about what Actionstep Payments is, what got us to this point, and what we know it can do for your firm. Okay, so Actionstep Payments is just a fully integrated payment solution that resides within your Actionstep system. We're going to get into in the coming slides more details about how it works, the features that it has, etc. But from a very, very high level, it's going to enable you to send a payment link embedded in the Actionstep invoice that you send your clients. Then you're going to be able to accept payments within your Actionstep system. And it's also going to create the accounting transactions for you within Actionstep. Or if you have an integration with QuickBooks or Xero, it'll show up in there as well. So as Katie mentioned earlier, we've spent the last 12 to 18 months, researching and speaking to our customers about what tools and features would be the most beneficial. Having an integrated payment solution was one of those common themes that we consistently heard throughout the communication and research process. While offering a payment solution is great, we really felt we needed to find out what were some of those pain points our customers were having that we feel that we could solve for with our solution. As we were doing, this research and talking with our customers, we started hearing, some common things as we were digging a little bit deeper. And a couple of those things that we picked up on is that there's a lot of manual back office double entry that is really just inefficient for firms. Another thing we encountered was that reconciliation of payments received from clients is really less than an ideal process. And the third thing is customers were either confused or they did not know about what their true cost of accepting payments were, through hidden transaction fees or multiple page statements that didn't provide really any good explanation. And it was very, very confusing. One of the things that we heard from a couple of firms that we talked to was that they actually felt like they said they needed to be forensic accountants to figure out exactly what they were being charged to accept payments. And that's what we want to solve for. That's not what we want to be. We want to make everything transparent and easy for you. And that's what we set out to do, is to really solve these problems. As we move to the next slide, let's talk about what Actionstep Payments can do for your firm. First thing, it's an all-in-one solution. Payments are built into it. And really, I think the great thing about this is it reduces the number of vendor relationships that you have to manage. If you have a problem with payments or you're confused, you just have to call Actionstep. You don't have to call another vendor and work through Actionstep and work through that vendor to get answers. It's an all-in-one, and your answer is going to be in one place. Another thing is it's going to get you paid faster. The acceptance of card and other electronic forms of payments will secure your funds up to 10 times faster than other traditional payment methods. It's also going to save you time. You're going to have less effort devoted to tracking down clients to make payment. And most importantly, I think, is that it eliminates a lot of double entry of accounting transactions and payments that firms may face. And as we said earlier, these payments are automatically reflected within Actionstep, QuickBooks, or Xero as well. And lastly, and certainly not least, is it's going to reduce your costs. With our easy and transparent pricing, you're going to have a single rate for all of your card transactions, including Amex. We don't have any hidden fees whatsoever. There's no contract, there's no PCI fees, there's no cancellation fees. And we feel that a simplified pricing structure like this with no hidden fees is going to allow for a much easier forecasting process for expense tracking as well. I know pricing is a pretty common topic when we're talking about payments, and I just briefly touched on it here, but we've got a slide here later on that talks about pricing, and we'll certainly go into more detail there as well. So I'm sure everyone is ready to take a look and see what Actionstep Payments looks like and how it'll function and see what's ahead. So now I'm going to pass the torch over to Duncan, and he's going to show you how it works. All yours, Duncan.
Thanks, Jeremy, and hello, everyone. When talking about Actionstep Payments, it will help to start with the bills and the emails for those bills, the ones that you'll be sending out to your clients. Once you've turned it on, Actionstep Payments will include a payment link in the standard invoice templates and email templates that you use for billing. Because many of our customers customize templates, it's worth mentioning that it's simple to be able to customize the language and visuals of the buttons and links that will prompt your clients to be able to pay you online. When your client does click the link, they're taken to a page to process a payment. And this will match your branding, showing your company logo, and it will also include your firm's contact details, so that any customer who has issues can easily reach out to you to get help. Not that they should need help. The page has a simple layout that works perfectly whether viewed on a mobile or computer screen. On the page, we'll display all the items that the client owes you, not just the invoice that they clicked on. This ensures that you are collecting on everything that is owing at the time, increasing the amount you receive and reducing the chances of bills becoming overdue for extended periods. A client who cannot pay the full amount owing can select the items that they want to pay, and the total payment will adjust automatically. For now, the payment page is displaying the amounts due on any unpaid invoices and any general retainer amounts. We'll shortly be supporting trust retainers as well, but more on that later. When the client does complete a payment is when you will start to see the benefits of a fully integrated payment solution. Within seconds of the payment being made, we'll automatically update your action step. Any invoices or retainer payments will automatically be created in your system. Staff will be able to see the payments loaded against your invoices and will include obvious details about the payment so that you can understand who paid it and how. As the payment is processed, the client's card will be debited, and as those funds have been settled, we will deposit that money into your bank account. Again, Actionstep will automatically create an accounting record to show those funds coming into your bank account as soon as it happens. And again, that accounting transaction will reference the invoices and retainers that were part of that deposit, so everything is trackable. By automating these transactions, we're seeing customers saving hours a week tracking what bills have been paid and manually entering in those payments. And lastly, Actionstep Payments will automatically take the fees for those online payments from your bank account. And once more, we'll automatically create the accounting transaction in Actionstep for that. For our customers who are using Actionstep's integration with QuickBooks Online or Xero, we'll still be pushing through invoice payments into those accounting systems. So you don't have to be using Actionstep's built-in accounting to be removing that overhead that firms have to go through when they're receiving payments. We don't just create these transactions in a bubble. We'll send notification emails to any users on a matter once an invoice for that matter has been paid, so your staff are aware of the payments that are coming through. And your admin staff will get emails advising them that money has been deposited into your bank account. That notification will include which individual invoice payments make up the total to help your staff identify the funds in your bank. As well as having notifications for the accounting transactions that Actionstep creates, we'll send notifications for any failed attempt to process a payment. If a client attempts to make a payment but encounters an issue such as not having enough available funds on their credit card or entering in the details incorrectly, your staff will be notified who it was who encountered the issue, what that person was trying to pay, and the reasons that that transaction failed. And we've heard wonderful feedback from customers on how this helps with conversations they've had with the client later, ensuring that they understand the cause and know how to avoid that in the future. And to allow all of this to happen, we've built a new admin screen where the settings can be configured and the firm's logo can be uploaded. As well as that, we've also created a dashboard designed to give you insights into the payments that have been processed and allowing you to see each transaction and each banking deposit and drill down into the detail. All of this adds up to some amazing work in the last 6 months to get to where we are now. And I'd like to publicly say thank you to the fantastic team who have helped build our current offering for Actionstep Payments. We're getting great feedback from customers who are piloting Actionstep Payments. However, there is still more we want to achieve. A lot more, in fact. Right now, we are about to release an update on how refunds for online payments are handled through Actionstep Payments so that if you need to, you can give your clients back their money. We're fast approaching being able to start beta testing receiving online payments into Trust. And that Trust work will introduce a number of different ways that you can choose from when determining how your invoices and retainer payments will be deposited into either your operating and or your Trust bank accounts. It'll introduce a new way to be able to capture on your matters a retainer amount that you want your clients to be able to pay. And that retainer amount will automatically appear on the payment page, making it simple for staff to be able to enter in the details of retainer, then present or email the means to pay it to a client immediately. Beyond that, we'll be currently planning how to introduce ACH or e-check payments and to give clients more options on how they want to break down their payments into more affordable chunks, ensuring that you get paid in a timely manner as much as possible. And we have much more that we'll continue to improve and offer with Actionstep Payments, with more customization options to ensure that everything works exactly how you want it to. And I think this graphic helps to show where we have been and what we're still working towards achieving with Actionstep Payments going forward. Now, the one thing I haven't mentioned so far is what Actionstep Payments is going to cost. So for that, I'm going to pass back to Jeremy.
Thanks, Duncan. So now that you've gotten to see our current functionality, how it will work for you, and what our upcoming roadmap entails, you're probably, if you haven't been already, wondering how much is this going to cost? And that's certainly a fair and important question. So why don't we dive in on that just a little bit? So there are many different types of pricing schemes out there. There's tiered, flat rate, interchange plus, subscription, etc. And there's also many providers, and they all choose their own pricing scheme based on certain requirements that they may have and what they're trying to accomplish. So when we were considering what approach we wanted to go with, it was important to us to make sure it was congruent with the two main requirements that we had. And number one was what were we trying to solve for? And number two, what are our customers telling us? So from our perspective, we wanted to ensure our approach was simple and transparent, and a strong contingent of our customers indicated the same thing, provided it would not materially raise their costs, of course. So this is why we opted to go with what you're seeing here is a flat rate transaction, because it satisfied both of our major requirements. So what we're looking at here is for each transaction, we're going to have a rate of 3.25% and 25 cents. Now, this also includes Amex cards, and which is notable because a lot of other providers, the standard rate that we're seeing out there from our competitors will be 3.5% and 30 cents for Amex transactions. We want it to be simple, like we said, and we want it to be transparent. So we're bringing that down and having everything charged the same rate. So when we're talking with our customers about their current setup and rates, like we said earlier, many were confused. They didn't know, or just mistaken on how much they thought they were being charged versus what the actual rate was. An example of one of these types of conversations would go something like, "Hey, Jeremy, we get charged X% for this type of transaction, and X% for this type of transaction." And I'd say, okay, well, that should put your effective rate at let's say 2.9%. So why don't we take a look at your last statement? Okay, and so I ask, how much did you get charged last month? And it might be something like $400. Well, how much did you process in transaction volume? 10,000. Well, that looks like 4% versus 2.9%. So you're not really getting charged what you thought you were. And so, unfortunately, we see this quite common, with customers that we've talked to, and it's not their fault. It's just that they were under the impression that that's what they were getting charged, but unfortunately, they were not. And that's what we're trying to do with our pricing, is we want to take that possibility completely out of the equation. So, we feel really, really confident that at the end of the day, our rate offering is very competitive, if not better than our competitors out there. And that's mainly because we've got a lower Amex rate. We don't have any of these monthly, quarterly, or annual PCI compliance fees. There's no contract or cancellation fee. We don't charge a statement fee. And we only charge interchange fees on refunds. We're not charging the 3.25%. If you have to run a refund, after you run the transaction and get charged 3.25%, we're not charging that again if you have to run a refund on that transaction. You're only getting charged the interchange costs. And so we feel like by doing those things among others, that at the end of the day that our pricing is really, really competitive. So so that is essentially Actionstep's payments pricing model, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that during Q&A, or if you want to contact me directly, I would love to hear from you as well. And with that being said, I will toss this back over to Katie.
Thanks, Jeremy. If you enjoyed our presentation today and you're interested in piloting Actionstep Payments, please respond to our survey and we'll be in touch. Thanks for indicating your interest. Now we'll open it up for questions.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for listening to our presentation. So we'll go ahead and jump into the Q&A, but before doing so, unfortunately, Duncan had to step away. However, we have Gwen and Dakota from our product team that will be able to also be able to provide some insight and answer questions along with us. Hopefully with the presentation, going through it, some would answer a majority of the questions that we've got a great number of questions here. So it's hopefully the presentation was able to answer some of those questions. There has been a bit of a repetitive theme of questions around partial payments. So as you probably would have seen in the roadmap, that is something that we are working to address. So that is soon to be delivered, having a partial payment options. But the exciting thing, which was another number of questions that we've had on a similar theme, is can a client pay more than one invoice at a time? So through Actionstep Payments, if they are invoiced, they do have the ability to historically go back and when they go to the payment link, all of their invoices that are outstanding, so they can select which invoice they'd like to go and pay or pay all. So at least they'll have a full view of all the outstanding invoices that are due rather than just one invoice at a time. Another question we had was around wire transfers and EFT. So that electronic check. So that is soon. That's also soon to be. That's also on our development roadmap. That is a high priority of ours. At the moment, payments can be made into an operating account. And soon, trust, very, very soon, trust functionality will be available. And then along with trust, there'll be other payment options available, such as electronic payments, wire transfers will be next cab on the rank. There's also been some questions, which is really interesting, actually. There was a question here we have that about asking, will in the future, will payments, can you pass on any transaction fees to your clients? That is actually a key. We've been reaching out to our pilot customers to get feedback on that, to see if that is something that is desirable. So that is one thing that we have been actually asking. We are looking at factoring that in our roadmap in the future. And so really keen to kind of get more feedback that hasn't, so far the feedback that we have received from our current pilot customers and, action steppers, that hasn't been very important to them, but it is something that we are looking at implementing. Patricia just asked, what is the timeline for some of these additional items that we're mentioning? So the trust and partial payment functionality and electronic payment should be trust. Payments into trust is very soon, within the next month. We'll have that. It's in the process of being tested in Q&A at the moment. So that's really not far away. And some of the mechanics behind trust, such as electronic transfer and partial payments, will soon follow within the next quarter. We're pressing for. So our engineering team are working quite rapid fire to deliver the other features along that. There was also a question here that asking about notifications. Those can be turned on and off for clients getting notifications when things have been paid. So that has been something that has been flagged to us as being a priority. So that too is also being worked on. So those that are getting notifications. So if you don't want everyone to receive a notification in your law firm that an invoice has been paid, we're working through that notification system at the moment. Michelle's just asked, it'd be nice to automatically add a standard admin fee to every invoice to cover the wire transfers and banking fees. Yeah, we can certainly look into that. We will, if there's any questions that we also haven't got to, or we'll answer specifically to, we will email you directly on these as well. Just that is something that a lot of firms haven't actually really communicated the need for that as of yet. So we're really keen to kind of find out some more information about your needs and factor that into our future development and having that flexibility within the system.
Yeah, and just want to jump in real quick here, Katie. We're getting a lot of questions about some of these features and timelines, and one of the things about the admin fees. We're really interested in hearing what each and every one of you, what's important to your firm, how you feel different payments features can help your firm and its operations and revenue. So we really encourage everyone to send us kind of your wants and needs and a payment solution, and we're taking all this information and absorbing it, cataloging it, and really trying to figure out as we prioritize things on our roadmap which things are most important to the most of our customers, so we can make sure that we get those items billed with the highest priority.
One question we had too is if there's the ability to use multiple payment providers at the same time. So that's a great question. We're still in phase 1 of payments, and we're very much in development mode. So we're really excited to be able to offer payments, through Actionstep, and the real value there is the accounting piece. So everything is reconciled, and you can see, have a view of within Actionstep to be able to save you time and double, reducing time spent in double entry. But for the functionality, we do have current pilot customers that are using other payment providers just so that for particular features until we can get to the feature sets that you're looking for. You do have the ability to use Actionstep payments and another payments provider, until you're ready to make the full move, or, you may want to just have the flexibility of having more than one. So that is an option that you can do, until perhaps there's other features like partial payment options or electronic check. There's a question about electronic check. We don't have a fee set for that at the moment. We're still very much in development mode. So we'll certainly be looking your feedback, and I can certainly say on behalf of Jeremy that it will be a competitive amount. So really we're here to be able to save you money and add value through Actionstep.
Yeah, Katie, just to expand on that just a little bit further, we're still negotiating with our payments partner on kind of fees for ACH, but what we have kind of decided on is there's a couple of different things you may see out there in the market. Some charge a percentage, or some charge a flat fee. Again, our entire goal here is to make it simple. So what it'll probably 99.9% sure be is it'll just be it's just a single small flat fee for that. So you won't have to worry about calculating percentages or anything like that.
Another question we had here was around the integration piece. QuickBooks. So if you are using QuickBooks, we do have a QuickBooks integration. Actionstep can also do all the accounting for you. So if you do need any help with that, we're here to help you save time and reduce time in accounting with your transactions. So if you do need any help, feel free to reach out to us directly, and we can certainly get you the right resource, support resources you need to help with your integration. And also, if you're looking at migrating from QuickBooks or Xero or another accounting tool to be able to help you save time, we can certainly assist you with that. So feel free to email us directly, or also, just ask a question in the chat, and we will respond to any questions that we haven't got to today. We will certainly email you directly to answer those questions. And if you're interested in trialing, there's no obligation. So if you are interested in trying Actionstep Payments, we can certainly get it up and you can have a feel for it, see if you like it. And we're really keen to get your feedback and have a good understanding of what's important to you, because that will certainly help flesh out our future roadmap.
Okay, do we have time for any more questions?
It looks like, yeah, we've still got a number of questions here. So what we will do is we are at time. So what we will do is we will aim to answer your questions, within the next 24 hours. And we're really looking forward to getting your feedback. And we appreciate those that have put their hand up to trial and interested in getting a demo. We will certainly be in touch within the next day or so to schedule some time with you to walk you through that. Well, thanks, everyone. We really appreciate your time today, and thank you for joining us. And we'll look forward to giving you future updates on Actionstep Payments and responding to your questions.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.